with the hit. So they got the offense out there right now. On fourth down, Murray staying on his feet, and he picks it up. But he lost the ball. And the Seahawks have it.
Guys are hot.
It was Ryan Neal coming up with a big punch-out. Something that the Seahawks have done better than any team in the league this year.
Kyler Murray with the fumble. You know, what's interesting about this team, we could go on and on about how poorly they play, all the mistakes they're making. You know, we could talk about the drop passes. We could talk about the sacks, the missed opportunities, the overhead snaps, the red zone interceptions, drops, passes. They're still in the game.
Yeah,
they're always still in the game.
I told Jimmy that before we started. I said, you know what? No matter what, the Cardinals are still have a shot to get back in the game or win the game. And I thought that was interesting. Guys, not to mention not 2 or 3 pre-snap penalties, these seven pre-snap penalties that put you behind the sticks even more so. All of a sudden, you're 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, and you're making a little progress of staying on schedule. All of a sudden, you're 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. And and to your point, right, yeah, they still had an opportunity to get back into it, but 2 sacks later, a procedure call or another penalty or a drop pass, and all of a sudden, Seattle gets the ball back, and they go another 13 plays and score another touchdown. That puts you 3 scores behind. Then at that point, you have no shot.
12 accepted penalties.
Yes.
Seattle had just 6. I mean, that's going to kill you, the penalties. And I think it's time. Let's just say it. Let's just be honest. It's time for a fresh start and a new head coach and a new offense. Let's just move on. It's not working. I mean, clearly the last 10, 12 months, it's just not working.
I looked at this yesterday. I went, I'm tired of the gimmickry. I'm tired of the there's no rhyme or reason for this offense. I'm tired of seeing the horizontal passing game, nothing down the field. All of a sudden, this defense has given up over 400 yards per game total offense to the other team. I'm tired of seeing Cliff Kingsbury have no idea on certain situations. Fortunately, they had their timeouts left at the end of the first half.
Yes,
had none left for that last drive. So I think folks are just getting tired of the same old. There's no correction that's being made. It's kind of like, well, let me try this flavor. Well, that flavor's not working this week, Cliff. What about this? What about that? And then Vance Joseph on the other side, they've got his defense figured out on top of that.
Yes, they do now. All right, let me fire.
It's just not Cliff. It's Vance Joseph defense.
It's a combination. There's no question about that. Indianapolis Colts fired their head coach today, Frank Reich. Mm-hmm. Okay, because the Colts are playing miserably, and Reich wasn't able to correct it. All right, so if Arizona is in a similar situation, don't you make that move?
And 4 years in on top of it too, Jimmy.
Yes, yeah. Don't you make that move then?
I think you do.
Well, don't you make that move?
Well, I think maybe they were just waiting for someone to fall first.
Maybe.
Well, they've had 2 guys fall first already in the National Football League: Wright and Carolina, and now Frank Reich, who's
2 bad teams.
2 bad teams. They brought Matt Ryan.
What makes this team any different?
That's the whole thing right there, Jimmy.
That's a good point.
And Rock, we'll say this.
I just don't know if they're going to do it because I still think the relationship that Steve Keim has with the Bidwills is the reason why this hasn't happened, because you really need to make the move together. Because if you're going to come in here, don't you think the GM, if you are going to make a GM move, the GM's got to be here to hire the new coach.
Okay, so you got the Rams this week, 49ers next week in Mexico, and then you got the LA Chargers, and then you got the bye.
Yes.
So I've got to find if this thing continues to go south, they get to the bye, I would think Michael Bidwell would have to make a change at the bye, get the new guy in, whoever it is, or have Vance.
Why not get in now?
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying.
You get out there. Hey, there's a job opening.
I agree,
because there's going to be 6, 7, 8 jobs will be available.
That's right. Yeah, but I think what will happen is Vance Joseph would be the interim if they let Cliff go this week.
Yes.
And then they can move on from there, and they can make all their adjustments they want at the bye week and kind of catch their breath.
Yes, but Manuch, how many games have you played before you hit the bye? You're playing the Rams. You're playing the 49ers.
3. You got 3 games.
And the Chargers.
Yeah.
I get it. I think we've seen what we're all best we're going to see. We're not going to see any better.
It is what it is. What you see is what it is.
As we've known Michael Bidwell, been around him for a long, long time, the thing I think of to save face, since he gave the new 5-year extension to Steve Keim and to Cliff Kingsbury, is, well, I got to give him the benefit of the doubt so it happens. No, I sat there yesterday and I went, This is ridiculous. This is absolutely absurd. This team is going backwards. Kyler Murray is going backwards. This team's going back. I don't care if you got 25 different linemen. Why don't you have experienced veteran linemen? You do. You got one in Ford who's just atrocious.
Yes.
So, again, this is general manager plugging the right people when you have injuries, not having it. A horizontal passing game. You got 25 completions for only 175 yards.
Yep.
And then their defense is fading like tissue paper in a rainstorm. It is. It's just going away. So that's on Cliff Kingsbury. He finally admitted it yesterday. Say, hey, look, this is on me. It is. So how do you continue to have the same mistakes, penalties, all the above over and over? Something's clearly wrong with how these guys prepare for a football game.
Well, you're giving credit to the defense. I mean, you're not giving credit to the defense, and it seems like that has always been, at least this year, it's been at least something positive because they're scoring on defense.
Well, they've only had the only scoring, but here's the thing. On top of that, Jax just reminded me, I thought this was a great stat at halftime on Fox. The Cardinals were, as of yesterday, 6-26-1. Now they're 6-27-1 when trailing at halftime, which tells me there's no adjustments at halftime to get you back into the game. Now, you'll be close, but you're not winning games when you're trailing at halftime. Now, yesterday was a clear example. They're down 10-7 at half. Kyler Murray fumbles that ball with 22 seconds left, gets a first down, get up, kill the clock. Now you get a chance to get a couple of shots in the end zone, or maybe you get a field goal at the very latest. Number one, Kyler, take care of the damn ball. When you move, tuck that thing up in your chest, up in your elbow, up in your high armpit. He's running around. Anybody taps that ball, and I thought this was very interesting too. Sean Payton talking about that sleeve he was wearing.
Yes.
How those sleeves are real slick. Well, if he doesn't have the sleeve on, he alluded to this, maybe as he taps it, that ball slides up his sleeve, it slips right out of his hand. I'm like, okay, Sean, I get it, but you got to tuck the ball up underneath your armpit. When you're running, he's too careless with the ball. Now, that's a coaching point. That's happened how many times the last 4 years?
A lot.
Okay. So, Kyler, when you take off and you know you're going forward, these guys can't tackle you. They're going to try to strip you, knock the ball out because that's the only chance they have at you.
Mm-hmm.
Sure enough, against Seattle a few weeks ago, they did it. And again yesterday, when is this kid going to learn? And again, that's a coaching point. Otherwise, you might go up at halftime. Might be 14-10 or 10-10 at the very least. Little details of take care of the damn ball, period, and you win.
The only time close ever counts is with hand grenades and horseshoes. I can tell you right now that this is a team, meaning the Arizona Cardinals, after what we have witnessed in the last few games, that is on a downhill slide, and it is not going to get any better with the remaining coach in tow and the way things are being handled right now.
I agree, Jimmy. I've seen enough.
I don't know what you're going to do, though, guys. If your offensive line is musical chairs.
It is musical chairs. And Cody Ford, guys. Remember Keim came out and said, yeah, we got Cody Ford. He's awful.
So I said about 5 minutes ago, Jimmy.
The Bills, I'm just going to tell you, the Bills let him go. Why? Because he's awful.
And same with the receiver from Carolina.
Oh,
Yes.
my goodness.
Oh, he had one catch for 1 yard.
Well, he dropped one. It was down to money. And then he had a procedure call. Fortunately, got a touchdown out of that drive.
Come on, Robbie.
Send him. But, I mean, it's just you see these guys. You just see – and then Price, another bad snap. He's getting bull
He
rushed.
sent the ball so far
Oh, my
over
God.
Murray's head. It's not like you got to throw it that high.
Manuch, you
but
couldn't
still.
have caught it. You could not have caught it.
And then he had a procedure call on the center because he moved the ball. Slightly moved the ball. I don't know if he gets confused on the snap count because Kyler comes up and gives a dummy call and he fakes the clap and then the procedure calls at home.
Yeah.
At home, your home stadium, because Seattle was alive and well in that stadium yesterday.
Hey, it's